Sikhs from the Midlands have joined human rights campaigners in London to urge the Prime Minister for full disclosure of Britain's involvement in a raid on the Golden Temple of Amritsar in India 30 years ago.
They say they want to know the truth after government papers appeared to suggest British officials had advised India on the planning of the raid. Rajiv Popat reports.
Desperate for answers, desperate for the truth, Sikhs from across the Midlands travelled to Westminster today to urge their MPs to help them establish exactly what happened 30 years ago when troops in India stormed the Golden Temple, their holiest shrine.
We'd want a thorough inquiry.
Internal British government documents appear to suggest the SAS had been sent to India to help with the planning.
First thing that we want is full disclosure of all the documents relevant to this, because without that there won't be confidence in the process. Also, it needs to be transparent. There shouldn't be a case of party politics being placed before the interests of the truth.
If it transpires that the British government had colluded with the Indian authorities, could that damage relations with the Sikh community?
Absolutely. So there will have to be a system where we look at why that help was given, because the attack on the Golden Temple was a crime against humanity.
Today, Sikhs delivered a letter to the Prime Minister calling for a clear response to suggestions of an SAS link, joined by human rights activists and Phil Miller, the journalist who uncovered the documents when he went to the National Archives looking for information on British Special Forces in Sri Lanka.
I came across these files about the SAS advising the Indian government on a possible raid on the Golden Temple in Amritsar.
What was your reaction when you read that, when you found out?
Well, at first, I was surprised to see these covert operations happening in another South Asian country, not just in Sri Lanka.
400 people died during the raid, but many dispute this and say thousands were killed. There were protests in Birmingham and throughout the country. Jagdish Singh has travelled from Coventry with a group of friends to be here. Tell me why it's so important for you to be here.
Thousands and thousands of people lost their lives in 1984. We owe it to those tens of thousands of victims to get the full truth on this.
The Foreign Office said David Cameron has asked the Cabinet Secretary to look into the case urgently and establish the facts. Sikhs say the ghost of 1984 has arisen. They want simple answers to simple questions to find out exactly what happened. Rajiv Popat, ITV News, Downing Street.
Nicholas and